And joining us now, Paul Catul. He's the Mississippi Department of Transportation Digital Media Manager. Paul, how's it going today, man?
It's going great. Thanks so much for having me, Gerard, and congratulations on the new show.
Appreciate that. Thank you. Appreciate it. So glad you were able to join us today. We wanted to talk to you about all these digital signs we're seeing. Certainly around my neck of the woods, I see them every day when I hop on 55 coming from the house to the studio. Was this your brainchild?
No. So, there were some MDOT employees kind of before I started that kind of started this thing off. And, nationally, Mississippi's certainly not the only DOT to do this. I believe Arizona, Iowa are some of the kind of the front runners when it comes to these messages. But we're happy to do them and get some good safety messages out to the public.
I got you. All right. So, who's the creative mind behind the messages? Is that you, or are there other folks involved in that as well?
Sure. I kind of head the project up. We've got a lot of creative minds in the MDOT Public Affairs Division. So, I'll send an email out with some different themes each month, and we get a lot of messages and workshop them and, run them up the chain and get them out to the public.
I got you. And so you've got something planned here, we understand, for the 12 days of Christmas. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so we started doing these messages back in 2018, and the first one we did was kind of an infamous one, the Christmas vacation message. Cousin Eddie says Twitter's full, put down the phone. And so we've kept on doing these messages, of course. And each December we do MDOT's 12 Days of Christmas, and so that's 12 messages leading up to Christmas Day. And this year we wanted to get the public involved. We've done these for a while now, so we put some posts out on social media asking for some messages. And I'm not gonna lie, Gerard, the public came through. We got hundreds of great messages, so we had to whittle it down to 12. And we're excited, starting December 14th, to kick this off.
Wow, very cool. So where all are these signs located, Paul?
So interstates and highways around Mississippi, I believe we have around 80 of these DMS boards, dynamic message signs around the state.
Yeah. That's cool. So has the DOT or Department of Public Safety, have they done any sort of measuring to see the impact of the messages and the signs on the motoring public, to see if we're adhering to that and getting the message and staying off Twitter while we're driving our vehicles and so forth?
Sure. So I believe the Federal Highway Administration has done some studies on this, and I don't have that information right here, right now. But yes, they are viewed as being pretty effective. Really, there's only so many different ways you can say, slow down, buckle up, get off the phone. That's a big one. So really,
Yeah.
we're trying to have fun with it, but the safety message is the most important thing. We feel like if one person drives by one of these signs and decides, I don't need to text and drive, and they save a life, we feel like it's what we're doing is completely 100% worth it.
Yeah, and we should point out that these are digital signs, and you guys have total central control of the message on those signs. So it's fairly easy, in fact, just to change the message and update that. Are you personally in charge of that, or is there other folks there at DOT that are involved in administering that?
So we do a lot of the content, kind of the public messaging and public affairs. However, we have a traffic management center. It's very important. They're active 24 hours a day. They have staff that they watch the highways, work with local law enforcement to ensure all the good information, traffic alerts are getting out there. So they're the ones that actually enter the messages in, and we kind of work with them. They have a good team and do a lot of good work.
Yeah. Well, it seems like it's been a pretty good program. I mean, folks, the motoring public seems to have received it well. I've heard some positive feedback. Certainly the catchy little messages get your attention, and hopefully folks adhere to the underlying intent of those messages as they're driving their vehicle. So you said there's other states involved in this as well, right? That do this sort of thing, I should say.
Absolutely. I don't have an exact number, but I would guess that most of the state DOTs do it. I know for a fact that TDOT does it in Tennessee, Georgia DOT does it. They do a really good job. So I believe Alabama DOT does it, but really around the country, this is kind of a thing. I guess it started around a decade ago. And
Yeah.
yeah, we feel like it's a good thing to kind of work those safety messages in there and get it top of mind for everyone. And AAA says there's going to be more people on the roads this year during the holidays than in recent memory. Um, more people on the roads means it's very important to drive safe and put the cell phone down. And we want everyone to get to their destination safely. That's the number one goal.
Absolutely. All right. So tell us about this seminar coming up for state DOTs that you're involved with, some of the coordination and orchestration of that. What's that all about?
I guess this afternoon we are doing with all 50 state DOTs. We are doing a just kind of a seminar to get everybody on the same page with these messages and kind of what you were talking about earlier. Kind of show some of the stats and the effectiveness and best practices. So the state DOT community is actually really active, and we all help each other out. We're not competing with each other, of course. We
Sure.
want everyone
Sure.
to be safe out there on the road. So, whenever we can get together and talk, good ideas and things come out of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime you can collaborate with your peers, certainly in a non-competitive situation, as is this being the case, where you can share best practices and learn from each other, and then see what may work and be something you want to adopt in your own organization. That makes a lot of sense. So, is there anything in particular, Paul, that comes to mind that the state of Mississippi has implemented as a result of collaboration with other and communication with other DOTs? Anything along those lines, or vice versa, for that matter?
Absolutely. We share a lot of these messages on the interstates and highways. We have ones that other DOTs take, and we certainly take ones from other DOTs, and that's a very good thing. Of course, when it comes to messaging, not just these boards, but messaging. When it comes to safe driving, we certainly have taken from other state DOTs, taken from US DOT, and get that out there and implement it on social media, and coming on shows like this, and anything we can do to get the message out.
Sure. So, but besides the outdoor digital signage, Paul, as the digital media manager, what are some of the other platforms that you work on to get the DOT message out?
Sure. So social media is huge, of course. We have someone that focuses on that a good bit, and we have actually, I believe, over a quarter of a million followers across social media.
Wow.
And we put out, yeah, it's people are very interested in getting daily traffic information, and we put out safety information every single day, roll that out there, and we and yeah, it's really a good thing during emergency situations. So we have this massive following. So for instance, last February, I believe, when all that winter weather came through, we had
Yeah.
a very large audience that we were able to take advantage of and get information out. And let me tell you, I mean, there was people stuck, overnight on the interstate. They were very scared, and they knew, they were kind of trained to go to our social media pages, and we were able to message with them directly and put out updates, 24/7. We manned it 24/7 between two of us, and so we feel like that's a really good service for the public, for the taxpayers, traveling public. We also
Yeah.
recently started a podcast,
Oh.
and it comes out monthly, and we hope to kind of ramp that up a little more. Transportation infrastructure is a very complex thing. I've worked at MDOT for 5 years now. I learn something new every single day. We do a lot of good work. And so with the podcast, we have kind of pulled the curtain back and been more transparent about, what the things we do here. Just recently we had MDOT Executive Director Brad White on, and he kind of
Yep.
recapped his first 6 months on the job, and kind of gave us, some ideas of what's coming forward. Of course, the legislative
Great job.
sessions and other
Yep.
priorities. So,
Sounds
That's a
like you
great
guys are
thing.
using all the tools and as you should to keep the public informed, and we appreciate that, Paul, and appreciate you coming on the program. And great job, great work, man. Thanks.
Thank you, Gerard. Have a good one.
You too. Middays will come back. We got to play some Joe Biden video. Stay with us.